What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and today brought us an announcement. Now, it was an announcement we knew was coming. We've known this for about a year or so, because it was basically announced and foretold, whatever, before original launch. So PlayStation today, Sony, whoever you want to call them, they officially announced that Dead Rising 4 is coming to the PlayStation 4. Now, we already knew this, okay, because we all know that when Dead Rising 4 was announced last year, back in 2016, it was announced as a one-year timed exclusive. So what that meant was it came to Xbox One in December of 2016, and it came to PC, I think it was 30 or maybe 60 days later. It could have even been 90, but it came within the next couple of months to PC. I want to say 30 because for some reason January sticks in my mind. Anyway, that's beside the point. But it was announced that the console exclusivity time period would remain for 1 year, just like it did for Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox One. So here we are, 1 year later, almost, and we're getting Dead Rising 4 on PS4. It's going to be arriving on the 5th of December, and it's coming in a Game of the Year style package. It's going to be called, this is an excellent name if you ask me, Dead Rising 4 Frank's Big Package. It's a good name if you ask me, and it comes with all season pass content and all the extra little bits of DLC and stuff added in updates and all, and that is whatsoever. But here is the main point that I want to make. So obviously, if you're a PlayStation 4 primary user, like many people are, chances are they don't have an Xbox One or the capabilities of playing this game on PC for the last like 6 or 8, 9 months-ish, we'll call it. So the point is that a lot of people are probably relatively excited for this because, let's face it, Dead Rising is a great series. At least for the most part, Dead Rising is a great series, to the point where it was just recently remastered. The first 2.5 games, we'll call it, have been recently remastered and upgraded and ported onto modern consoles, and the first game has received a proper remaster and ported to PC for the first time. So it was brought off the Xbox 360 finally onto other platforms like Xbox One, PS4 and PC. So that's a good thing, right? They're showing some love to Dead Rising. Now, if you're not familiar with the series, Dead Rising, obviously it's one of the big zombie games. When it first was announced and first shown off way back in the day, exclusively on Xbox 360, it was a bit of a technical, I won't say masterpiece, but it was a bit of a technical marvel at the time, because with so many zombies on screen with relatively decent performance, it was quite impressive, and it really showed the step and the power of moving to an Xbox 360 from an OG Xbox or a PS2 or a GameCube or a Dreamcast, because they were all the previous generation consoles. So it was a big deal, and personally, as someone who has put tons of hours into Dead Rising 1 on Xbox 360, Dead Rising 1 when it was remastered on PC, Dead Rising 2 when it came to 360, Dead Rising 3 when it came to Xbox One, eventually to PC, but I haven't played that version of it. I haven't played much Dead Rising 2 on PC either. Dead Rising 2 Off the Record, which I played through on 360 but never on PC, and Dead Rising 4, which we'll get to now in a minute. So as someone who deeply loves the series, Dead Rising 1, fantastic game. Dead Rising 2, arguably better, almost. It's like tied, and then like one bit goes over and one bit goes under. It's so hard to say what's better, Dead Rising 1 or 2. Some things are better in 1, some things are better in 2. That's a whole different discussion for a whole different video that we'll possibly make at some other point. Dead Rising 3 was weird in the sense that it kept the kind of ludicrous, over-the-top style, but opted for a more gritty, realistic approach and graphic engine and all as well. Not a bad game, just nowhere near as good as the previous 2 games, or at least the previous 2 main series games. So let me reiterate this one more time. I personally have the collector's edition of Dead Rising 1. I have the collector's edition of Dead Rising 2. I have the standard, I don't think there is a collector's edition, version of Dead Rising 2 Off the Record. I have a day 1 launch edition of Dead Rising 3. In fact, that's the only reason I got my Xbox One at launch. I was originally going to wait a little bit longer until I found out that Dead Rising 3 was coming out for it. And not only on top of all of that, of course I have the season pass for Dead Rising 3, but I also have Dead Rising 4, again, which I also have the season pass for. Extra little bit of a tidbit and almost kind of sad fun fact when you think about it, the Dead Rising series makes up 1/4 of my Xbox One collection. That's right, 2 games, Dead Rising, 1/4 of my Xbox One collection. Now, here's where things get strange. So, Dead Rising 1, the game that started this whole thing, starring Frank West, photojournalist. He's covered wars, you know. But the point is, everyone loves Frank West. He is the most beloved character in the Dead Rising series. And when Dead Rising 2 was found out not to feature Frank West, everyone was a little bit upset about it, myself included, because he's a great character. He's so funny, he's witty, the almost deadpan humor he has, it's right up my alley. And that's why myself and many people love Frank West. Dead Rising 2 naturally featured Chuck Green. Motocross expert, hasn't covered wars. We move on to Dead Rising 3. Now Dead Rising 3 had a new character, Nick Ramos. Again, not one of the main characters from the previous game, someone completely different. So when it was announced that Dead Rising 4 would mainly focus on Frank West in another zombie outbreak, and not only in another zombie outbreak apocalypse situation, but back in an expanded version of Willamette, where it originally took place, where the first game took place. So not only did it have all of that, but it was an expanded version of it. And what that meant was it would give you the mall. You could use the, well, I hesitate to say original mall because it's changed since the first game, but the Willamette Mall is there, as well as the surrounding city of Willamette. So it's a bit more expanded than the original Dead Rising. This isn't a remake, by the way. It's not a remake or a reimagining. It is a different game, just set in this roughly the same style and place. But here's where the similarities basically fall off. Wait a second. Jill sandwiches? Oh, Capcom. This is more a warning to all you PlayStation 4 fans out there who may be interested in this game. If you like Dead Rising 1, if you like Dead Rising 2, and if you like Dead Rising 2 off the record because it's Dead Rising 2 with Frank West, remember, he's covered wars, you know. But the point is, even if you may like Dead Rising 3, Dead Rising 4 is absolute shit. Dead Rising 4 is terrible. This is coming from someone who has put dozens and dozens and dozens of hours into every Dead Rising game he's ever played. I have every single achievement, yes, that's right, including Saint from Dead Rising 1. I believe I have every single non-multiplayer achievement in Dead Rising 2, I think, I can't remember. But the point is, I have all the hard ones, which is the important thing. Dead Rising 2 off the record, I didn't really play as much. I finished the story and I kind of did a little bit of grinding after that, but left it there. Dead Rising 3, same deal. I have all the original achievements, I have all the achievements for the first 3 DLCs, and I have almost all of them for the fourth. The point is that I'm trying to make on that one is the fourth one, the fourth DLC, is where the game broke for me and it was glitched and bugged out, and I said, fuck it, I'm done. That's where I gave up on that. And don't forget, I redid Dead Rising 1 on PC, because when it finally came to PC, hell fucking yeah, I want to play that game, because I fucking love Dead Rising. Which makes it even harder, and pains me to say it, that Dead Rising 4 is absolutely terrible. By Dead Rising standards, it's incredibly simplified, boring, it's incredibly easy. Let me give you a perfect example. We all know Dead Rising 1 had a learning curve of running face first into a brick wall. Dead Rising 2 was roughly the same, but chances are you had a bit of experience from Dead Rising 1 to help you along the way. Dead Rising 3 was considerably easier. I have personally only ever died in Dead Rising 3 once, and that was because of a glitch or Connect fuck up, if you want to call it, because I've explained numerous times in other videos. I won't do it here, but again, my previous experience in the games, and just the fact that Dead Rising 3 was overall a little bit easier, well, a good bit easier, helped. Dead Rising 4, I have never died in. I finished the game. I finished the base game. I won't even talk... Actually, I will talk about a little fun glitch I had in a minute. But I finished the game, went back, did almost every single collectible. I have about 95 collectibles or something like that. I think I'm only missing like 6 of them because I have to reload a specific mission. But the point is, the game is incredibly boring, generic, and easy. It's ridiculous. It's so half-heartedly put together as well. It feels like there's actually... Let me give you a perfect example. There is a part, a specific city block in the town that is literally just copy and pasted from Dead Rising 3. Everything about it, the store layouts, the actual internals of it, the buildings, everything about it is literally just copy and pasted from Dead Rising 3. It's so lackadaisy and half-hearted. There's so many videos out there of just that reek unfinished game. And don't forget, this is even months after it had been patched again and again and again, and a lot of these things were still persistent and still broken. Hell, at one point I remember sending a WhatsApp video to my friends as I was playing it because there was an overturned bus on the side, just sitting there on the side of the road, and I could just straight up drive through the bus every time I wanted without fail. Well, I suppose you could call it being a fail, but you know what I'm saying anyway. And that brings me to a little bit of a point that I personally have. When I finished Dead Rising 4, once you finish the game, or once you're finished all the gameplay and there's a series of cutscenes, every single one of the final cutscenes for me bugged out. No subtitles, no character dialogue. Yeah, that's pretty fun, isn't it? And there are numerous reports of all this kind of stuff happening, but the point is that, yeah, it's probably been fixed. The game's been out about a year at this point, so I'm sure some of these issues have been remedied. The fact that it's just a complete rush job and hack job and subpar game, I don't think all of them will be fixed, to be honest. But just please, PlayStation users, if you are considering this game, know going in, it is terrible. It is the worst Dead Rising game. It is the first bad Dead Rising game. It is literally bad. It's completely unenjoyable. It's a complete slog. Everything you think. I was like, oh, Frank West, he's covered wars, you know. I can't wait to get back with him, back to Willamette. It's absolutely nowhere near, in any way, shape, or form, the Dead Rising you know and love. They fucked up the survivors, they fucked up the timer by the fact that there is no timer, they fucked up the psychos, which was a huge big deal back in all the original games, and now they're just absolutely terrible. But I won't even get much more into detail. It's just, please avoid this game. I am recommending that you avoid this game. To me, this is the game that has actually turned me off the Dead Rising series. That's right. It hasn't turned me off the previous ones that I already know I enjoy and love. But when Dead Rising 5 comes out, if it doesn't look spectacular, I'm done. I'm not buying Dead Rising 5. And that is what Dead Rising 4 has done to me. So notice going in. I'm trying to save you $60, $70, $75, euro. What do Australia use? Like $200 dues, Canadian dollars, whatever. The point is, this is not the game, not the series, not the genre, not the character you know and love. You've been warned. So, let me know in the comment section. Are you worried about this? I'm sure you've seen, if you're a PlayStation user or whatever, you've probably seen the lambasting the game has got over the last 9-10 months because of many issues and just the sheer lack of quality of the game. Are you planning on buying this? Are you considering buying this? Were you waiting for it to come out on PS4? Whatever. Let me know all that in the comment section below, as well as if this video has been informative in any way, shape, or form. As someone who is a huge Dead Rising fan and loves the majority of the series, I really hope this carries a little bit of weight and can save yourself the time, money, and just general pissed offness of wasting, well, your time and money on this game. So let me know all of that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.